And welcome along and welcome back to Meadow Grove. We've got our Fendt 380 GTA and our Class Axion 840 down here today at the shop because we're going to get started on seeding. So we only have one field to seed. Before we do that though, we're going to need to get some money. So I'm going to go and pop into here. We currently have a loan of 250,000. I'm going to up that by another 100,000. So we're going up to 300,000, 350,000, sorry. So that we have enough money to buy the equipment we want. So what we're going to buy is we're going to buy ourselves a seeder, and we're going to go for the standard in-game Vadstad Rapid A600S. This is a nice width. It's got a 6 meter width on it. It should be able to do everything we're after. It's a pretty good seeder, this. So we're going to buy that for 76,000. And then what we want to do is we're going to need to get on top of that some seed. Now that holds, if we have a look at it, that holds a total of 3,100 litres of seed. So we're going to get 3 pallets of seed. Nope, we want to pop back one because they're in the big bags. So we're going to get the standard big bags. So we get 3 of these. There we go. It doesn't take any fertilizer. And the other thing we need to get, and the reason why we have our other piece of kit down here, is because in our front loaders we need a pallet full. And we're going to keep this, we're going to take this to the Agco Grey. Buy that. Yep, there we go. So now we've got ourselves a seeder in the Vadstad here. We've got three pallets, and yeah, we're going to hook everything up. So let's jump in our Fendt. I love this Fendt. This Fendt is just so weird. And we did have one of these. We had one of these on our farm in the Fens when I was growing up. And it was always a weird tractor whenever we went down there to go and visit and to see. So really pleased to see a good quality one of these in the game so early on. Absolutely fantastic to see that. And yeah, just had to be something that I had to go with and got into a map. I doubt it will be the last time we see one of these in one of my series, to be honest. Let's hook up our class. So we're going to go and do, we've got a single field at the moment. But what I want to do is I do want to pick up a second field. So we need to look at what else we've got. We may pick up one that is in need of cultivating and seeding, or need of seeding. This of course is a direct seeder, so it will be good from that point of view. Right, I think seed pallets wise, let's just pull this forward and make this more accessible. There we go. Thankfully, this seeder is completely and utterly able to be loaded from while it's still folded up like this. You can undo it, and then we can easily get in here with this, pull down. That is the lowest that goes. That's interesting. Yeah, we can't get that any lower. I wonder why that is. Should be okay, because these are all going to go straight in. But a little bit of an oddity. Right, so let's get this loaded up. So I'm going to load these 3 up, and then we'll head off. Let's just see if we can. There we are. There is our last one. So that's that's all 3 in rather nicely. This should be enough seed to keep us going for a while. We're going to leave this tractor down at the shop. It's a little bit odd. I wonder if that's sitting a bit high. It's not. So this just doesn't quite go low enough, this front loader. But that's alright. We're fairly able to load stuff up with it. So let's jump into our Class Axion here. Close this up. And we'll head off to our field. Now I don't think our field needs ploughing, if I'm right. It does, but that's okay. We won't worry about that right now. We want to try and make sure that we get... In fact, it needs ploughing and it needs lime. So we may have to do some lime on this a little bit later. But right now, we don't really have the money to do either of those things. So we're going to get a new crop in here. We've got wheat at the moment. I think we should probably put barley in here. British map, British map, and we're looking to get straw again. So we are going to be doing straw for the second time on this field. Wheat actually is slightly better, but we've already had that in here. So we need to do a little bit of crop rotation. So barley in this time, and then we'll probably put some canola in it next time. But this should not take us too long to get this job done, I don't think. It's not a huge field. We've got a nice straight edge on this side, and we've got a nice wide cedar as well, which is quite good. Yeah. But really, we're looking for a quick turnaround with this. Hence the not ploughing it this time. And hopefully, the idea is that by not doing that, then next time we end up getting a little bit more money from this as we go through. And I want to find a lime spreader that isn't quite such an issue to go with. Because the lime spreader is quite wide, or quite big, that's in here. So I'd like a smaller lime spreader if we can. So let's turn it on, drop it down, and away we go. There we are. And this class action actually really good at pulling this. I think this has like 180 horsepower requirement. This Vatstad. We have 210, I think, in the Axiom. So it's not an issue at all for us, really. The nice thing about this is for a trailed cedar, this actually turns really fast. So if I lift and bring it round, be able to see that we can get it lined up pretty easily. So yeah, look at that. So straight down and straight off again. And it just makes our life really easy doing this manually. And because this is a nice or fairly nice large cedar for the size of our farm, we're pretty good. 47,000 left from our loan. I think what we'll probably want to do is see if we can get hold of another field. There are fields that are around about the 50,000 mark, which would be pretty good. We're going to need to create some silage at some point. We're going to do, as I revealed previously, we're going to do silage in the silage clams and not in the not silage bales on this map. But I do need a good amount of grass fields and things in order to do that. And there is a field set that would be pretty good for that setup. Either that or doing a couple of cuts in our 2 grass fields that we have. We're going to get a forage wagon to do that. That's why I'm being a little bit cautious on the money at the moment. Going so far as not actually buying ourselves a plough or a subsoiler and a lime spreader, because at the moment we don't actually really need to do those things that much. We could hire, and maybe that's what we'll do after we've got this crop in, because we really should get this ploughed at some point. It's not going to be a great yield because of it, but we're sort of doing the build up at the moment. There we go, round and in. This really does turn amazingly easily, and I'm loving it. It's been a while since I used this. I dropped this Vatstad out of another map because I wanted to use something else. But I'm really quite pleased with how it's working on here. And it is making short work of this field. That's the thing. We will get this planted this time, and it really is a case of that and getting that done. Oh, there's a couple of things actually I need to tell you guys, because so somebody pointed out very wisely after last not after last time's video, but the video before, because they were recorded back to back, that we already had a baler, and I went back and I checked the first episode it was, and yes, indeed, we had a baler. We ended up with 2 balers on the map. So what I did was, while I was getting this ready off camera, I actually went and sold the second baler, got rid of the baler we didn't need, which actually turned out to be the one that we bought in the first episode, because, well, basically that was the one that had no use and then therefore was worth the most money. And the result of that was we ended up with enough money to take our number of cows up to 20. So we now have 20 cows on the farm. I have made sure that they are all fully watered and fed. So they are now producing milk. We've now got 20 cows doing milk production for us, which is great. That's going to be bringing in money, and that will be that should nicely offset our the costs of our loan, our extra stuff on our loan, because I don't think we're actually got anything. I don't think we've got much hired at the moment, if we got anything. So that's all good. We're in a position where we're not going to be spending too much money on a daily basis. This will be the last job we get done on this game day, so we'll move on to a next game day for the next video. And I think we're probably going to end up having to do some fertilizing on this field next time. Get this done. We're going to need to start cutting some grass. As I said, we need to get the silage working, and it's going to take at least a couple of loads off our field before we can create any silage, because that's the one downside of doing silage that way. And yeah, quite how we're going to make it so that it's got enough oomph and enough weight in order to get the silage done, I'm not 100% sure yet, but we'll give it a go. There we are. Could really put GPS on this. Maybe that's something we should get on here, because I haven't really tried GPS yet in the game, and yeah, I should really maybe grab that into here, and it would be something we could put on the class. It doesn't look like there is actually a GPS module on this at the moment. There we go. But it would certainly be a useful piece of kit to have. Keep us nicely straight. At the moment I'm still using the compass. I'm trying to make sure that, that I'm straight based on that. Which is always interesting. And we get a nice view of the countryside here. This is just, I kudos to Nathan. This is an amazing looking map. It really is. It looks utterly gorgeous. There's not a direction I've looked at doing this where I haven't thought it looks absolutely incredible. There we go. So a couple more, and yeah, we're going to have lots left. I really like to buy Field 3. Field 3 would be a great field for us on the farm. Unfortunately, I think it's about 120 to 150,000. We'd have to borrow another 100,000 to do it, and I'm very wary that we borrow another 100,000 and we're getting very close to our loan limit. So it is wanting to avoid losing that ability that should we suddenly need to buy anything, should we suddenly need to get hold of something, that I can. It may be a case of, getting something put in there and then turning around and getting it, and then immediately paying back as much of the loan as I can. You know, I don't know how many. So if we put something like soybeans in there, we'd probably be able to pay back the field fairly quickly. But I don't know. I don't know how well that would go. Barley in here, that will give us another good group of bales. At the moment we're feeding our cows just hay, so I really would like to get more than that. I'd like to get them fed. I'd like to get them fed with some full-on mixed ration. It tends to, I think it goes down a little bit slower, and I know they eat that first. You could also put straight up grass into their feed, which would work as well. Right. Let's turn around here. There we go. Into the dog-legged field now. There. Job that has worked well, I think. I think we've got a good and speedy piece of work on this, so this is definitely the right kit for here. I don't think this seeder is overly big for this map. I've certainly seen plenty of seeders this size in the UK, and we might have to take on some maybe some contracts at some point. But the contracts, the size of the fields mean the contracts aren't worth that much money. I think the best thing for us to do contract-wise is probably actually going to be to target those fields that we want to buy. So get them to the point where they have a load of crop in them. So get paid to do the jobs that to get them to the point where they're seeded, and then buy them just before or when the crop is ready to be harvested. And in doing that, we're then in a position where we'll make the most money from it. We won't spend a load of money getting them seeded and everything like that. We'll be able to just get the job done. There we go. Field 3 is really full of weeds. I want to get, I think we're going to put care wheels on our case for spraying. So I don't want a particularly big sprayer for the case. There was a small modded one that came out that we could try, I suppose. That would be interesting. There we go. It's a pity there's not a front tank for our Fendt, because that would be amazing to see. To see that Fendt doing a spraying with a proper front tank. Which is the other thing that Fendt is known for, of course. Right, down. There we go. So yeah, we're gonna have got this planted this time. It's a really, really good job to have got done. And then we can just look after this field. Next time, as I said, we'll give it a spray and make sure that we get. Well, we'll probably have to let it grow a bit first, I think. It would be good, as I said, it would be good to get some lime on here, but we don't really want to lime this now that it's. You could in the game, you can lime it once you planted it. In real life, I don't think you wouldn't do that. You absolutely wouldn't do that. So we'll probably, as I said, I think we'll lime it after the next iteration, which seems a little bit odd. But I want to make sure that we're capable of doing things with the money. So. Really introducing things as we go along, and that's one of the things. We've got the cows early on here, so we're going to have to get a milk trailer not too distant future. That may be something that we can hire, though, to be honest. We'll reverse this up. Last couple of runs. I'm going to pull it in a bit so we can catch. Yeah, make sure I get all of this row. This class is performing absolutely admirably, but I wouldn't expect anything less for a tractor of this size. We're basically asking this tractor to do slightly less than its power requirements ask of it. But this is sort of our... So if our case is sort of our tractor that we do all our carting and everything in, this is very much our bigger workhorse that we do all this kind of... all of our planting and things like that in. We've got quite an overlap at the moment with what we're doing. Now, yeah, we do need to do one more row, and then we're going to do the headlands and finish this field off. So, there we are. Down and done. Right, so we need to head back down the field. It's not that easy. Ooh. Little tree there. Hopefully this seeder can turn at some really sharp angles, which is massively useful. There we go. We should have we've got just about one width's worth. Maybe just. I'm going to do 2 sets of headland down the centre. It is just, the width here is actually slightly bigger than our seat. So, let's do that. Make sure we do actually get it all. There we go. And that will just clean things up a bit. Otherwise we're going to be left with that. You can see actually some bits really would have left us with either a bit in the field that wasn't done, or a bit at the a bit on the edge that wasn't done. So, right, pull this down and round. There we go. And last little bit, so reverse this up. And we'll get the rest of the headland done. And as you can see, the sun, the light is fading. It is now 6:45 in the evening in game. So this really is going to be the last of what we do. And it's gone well. I'm pleased with how this combination has worked. It has meant that we've got the job done efficiently and quickly. Let's lift that up and go properly into the corner here. Like so. And yeah, means we're going to have a nice field of barley here with a good set of straw as well. That will keep our cows going for a while. That means we don't have to buy it. Yeah, look at this. Pulling it up the hill, covering it off. Right, we did do our headlands a little bit. I thought I'd covered as much as I needed to, not quite. So we might end up with a couple of patches. Let's see. Nope, we're actually good. Excellent. Yeah, there we go. We'll do the same up here as we did on the other end. And we do actually have 2 rows worth. So I'm going to come up here and just turn around. There we go. we did do basically two rows worth in the headlands, which was not what I expected, not what I thought I'd done at all. Bring it round, lift it. Yeah, there we go. That's finished it off. Like so. Right up to the corner. There we go. So that's got it. We'll fold this up and take this back out to the shed. But that is a job well done. That has got our field planted with barley. Yeah, this door, this is cool. So this axion, as well as the fen, this one has an opening door, which makes me wonder if it's got any of the other opening stuff. But it would seem not. Oh no, back window opens as well. That's pretty cool. As does our sunroof, which is brilliant. But there we go. That is that job done. We're got our barley in. I think next time what we'll probably look at is see if we are in a position where we can buy anything field wise. As I said, I'd like to get a field next rather than another bit of equipment. Although we are going to have to buy a sprayer. Sprayer is going to be the next piece of kit that is pretty much all round good for us. So we'll get that. Let's put this back in our barn. We've got our fence down at the shop, but I'm going to leave that down there because I think we're going to need it down there for our case next time. But that is it. So yeah, there we go. All that remains is for me to say thank you for watching. I hope you have enjoyed this video. Please give it a like, drop us a comment and give it a share. And for all the latest videos and live streams from Virtual Farmer, please subscribe to the channel and ring that bell, and I will see you next time. Goodbye.